Good afternoon. This is Tina Coakley's Cognitive Behavior Therapy PowerPoint presentation. As we all know, CBT is a widely practiced and empirically supported form of psychotherapy that focuses on the interconnectedness of thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and its structured, goal-oriented nature makes it particularly effective in treating various mental illnesses, including anxiety, depression, post traumatic stress disorder. And it is also widely practiced and empirically supported form of psychotherapy that focuses on the interconnectedness of thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Its structured, goal oriented nature makes it particularly effective in treating various mental conditions, as I stated, anxiety, depression, and PTSD. So let's get right into it. As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner is my YouTube video link. I am going to reference this video link throughout this presentation. I will tell you where you can find different techniques throughout my presentation and what minute and what second you can fast forward the video to find these techniques in the video. So, in the introduction to the cognitive behavioral therapy session opening, establishing rapport, and identifying the issue, you can find this particular segment at 1 minute and all the way to 2 minutes and 33 seconds. In this session, me and the client discussed the client's issues, what brought them into the therapy session for the day, the different things of anxiety he was experiencing with his current job and being able to present information to his employer. The overview of techniques I discussed, which the techniques I discussed are cognitive restructuring, and you can find the cognitive restructuring at 2 minutes and 34 seconds on the video. In cognitive restructuring, we challenge negative or irrational thoughts and replace them with a more balanced and realistic thought process. So I had the client to tell me some things pertaining to his life, what caused the anxiety, what he believed caused the anxiety throughout his day with presenting information and speaking with his employer, his manager. And him telling me these things, we were able to counteract those with cognitive restructuring, removing the negative thoughts and replacing those negative thoughts with more positive thoughts throughout the video. Behavioral activation, you can find this technique at 7 minutes and 21 seconds. We discussed how we increase their engagement in positive activities to counteract the feelings of depression or inactivity. So we use both of these techniques hand in hand to help the client restructure their way of thinking and activate positive thinking and more positive reinforcement throughout their day and throughout them presenting information. The theory application in the role play. So we use cognitive restructuring. It helped the client challenge the unrealistic thoughts, fueling their anxiety and replace them with more grounded, rational thoughts. Through behavior activation, we focused on encouraging the client to take concrete actions, such as preparing for meetings in advance to build confidence and reduce avoidance behaviors, as we discussed previously. By using these two techniques together, the counselor helped the client reframe their thought patterns and take action to feel more prepared and less anxious in work situations. Client reactions throughout my client reaction, they both of the techniques allowed him to feel relief and hope in situations. He was relieved of the anxiety He was able to suppress the anxiety, and he was very hopeful moving forward that he would be successful in presenting information to his employer. He would be more confident in how he presents and how he speaks when he's in front of people. He was definitely willing to try the different techniques that was presented to him. He was willing to try the positive reinforcement. He was willing to try to suppress, as I stated, the anxiety urges with more positive thoughts. It allowed him to have increased self-efficiency throughout the process of him suppressing those negative thoughts and his anxious emotions. So the effectiveness of CBT. So after we discussed both techniques, the clients appear to be more relieved and more hopeful. The negative thoughts and anxious feelings that initially dominated the session, they seem less powerful. The client was able to articulate a sense of control over their anxiety by recognizing that they could take small, concrete steps to improve their situation. The client also showed openness and willingness to try out the strategies suggested, especially the idea of preparing for meetings in advance. There was a sense of empowerment as the client now had a clear sense of how to take action rather than being paralyzed by fear. So, the effectiveness, the breaking the anxiety perpetuating cycle, the client anxiety was largely driven by negative thinking patterns that led to avoidant behaviors, which was not preparing for meetings. Both techniques target the root cause of this cycle by addressing the negative thoughts and motivating the client to take proactive steps. Through the empowerment and control, portion, the client felt more in control after using cognitive restructuring and behavioral activation by realizing their thoughts weren't entirely accurate. So, removing those negative thoughts and the thoughts of him not being able to perform or not being able to be successful, it allowed him to feel empowerment and control throughout the process. Um, so he also felt empowered and in control of future tasks at hand as well. The realistic and achievable goals, both techniques emphasize small, achievable goals, which is particularly helpful in managing anxiety. This approach prevents the client from feeling overwhelmed and fosters a sense of accomplishment, which gradually builds confidence. The interventions of focus on the present and future allowed the client to focus on what they could do now, reframing their thoughts and taking small steps rather than dwelling on past failures or future catastrophes. The solution focused approach aligns well with the client's need to feel more confident in their ability to handle situations going forward and builds long-term resilience. So the combination of changing negative thought patterns and taking action creates a feedback loop that enhances the client's resilience over time. As they continue to challenge their thoughts and take small steps towards their goals, they will likely see a reduction in anxiety and an increase in their confidence and self-efficiency. So, in conclusion, these techniques are particularly effective because they target the root cause of clients' anxiety, negative thinking, avoidance behavior, while promoting small, actionable changes that the client feels confident in taking. By addressing both cognitive and behavior aspects of anxiety, these interventions create a comprehensive, holistic approach to overcoming the client's fears and building their resistance. I truly hope that you all enjoyed my presentation on cognitive behavioral therapy. If you have any further questions, feel free to comment below.